What is going on, everyone? This is the Fourth and Fantasy Podcast, episode 33 coming your way. My name's Meek. I always got my co-host to the left, Wu.
Let's go.
Wu, what's going on today?
This is a special episode. We got a special guest here.
Yes, we do.
Should we introduce him?
We shall. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, I have Steve Angle. Steve, welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, Steve's a longtime listener. The infamous or famous Bonnet League that we always talk about. Steve is in that. Steve, what's your favorite moment from that Bonnet League? Because Steve's got a lot of them.
Yeah, what pick do you have this year?
The two low moments come to mind of losing last year and the fantasy punishment of 24 hours at McDonald's.
Let's go.
That was phenomenal.
Listen,
you took it like a champ. I just want to say.
Got out in 10 hours.
That was. I think that might be the most impressive thing.
Elite performance.
So for those of you who don't know, in our Bonnet League, we always do, or it's kind of been a recent thing in the last couple of years, but we've done a last place punishment. So we've had someone do the Pocky One Chip Challenge. We've had someone do a Milk Mile. We have someone who is still be waited on to be shot by a paintball column.
See you draft night.
We'll see you draft night.
Yeah.
But then Steve was our most recent loser last year, and we actually left the choice up to whoever the loser was. You could either do 24 hours in an IHOP or 24 hours in a McDonald's, and Steve chose McDonald's.
Crazy take.
Because why not? You know what I mean? Why not?
Less than 10 minutes from my house.
That's right.
I was able to get home nice and quick after that.
That is true. Steve, welcome to the show. I can't think of a better topic of the show to have you on than this one today. We have our NFL betting show, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be throwing at you a little different pace than what we normally give you. Obviously, we give you, the fantasy stuff, but Wu and I felt like this is, so important to just what we have always done, because when I think of fantasy football, I don't know about you, Wu, I always think of us being at the beach club talking about it, and then we eventually, the guys of the league, we take a yearly trip to Foxwoods out in Connecticut. We throw in some futures, we hang out, we have a day together, and none of them hit, but it's all in the camaraderie. So in making the episodes of the show, it just kind of dawned on us we should have a betting show and give you guys obviously don't take our advice, take it with a grain of salt.
Meek, before you finish that sentence, we brought our gambling expert on the show.
Oh,
so if anybody gets one wrong, it's Steve's fault, and it's not our fault.
Don't
That's
blame
why
us.
we have him
You
here.
guys did call me out a couple episodes ago for gambling on Wimbledon, so I felt obligated to show up for this one.
I love it.
Absolutely. So just to get through the introductions, we've hit 1,800 plus plays across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. That is thanks to the folks that are listening right now, like you are, the folks who are watching as you are. We appreciate you and thank you. Make sure you're following us on all of our socials: Twitter at Fourth and Fantasy Pod, Instagram and TikTok at Fourth and Fantasy, YouTube at Fourth and Fantasy. Make sure you give us a like and a follow on our socials and leave a comment. Quick question of the day. Fellas, I give this one, I call this draft analysis. Friend of our show, Alex D., who's actually an employee of the Beach Club where Steve and I currently work. He just recently had a draft, and we've been talking with him all summer about, strategies and things like that. So finally the draft has happened. He sent us his team. So I'm going to read it to you really quick. Just to give you guys context, it's a 10-team PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Alex had the 102 in this draft. So he started off his draft by taking Bijan Robinson, followed it up with A.J. Brown and Trey McBride. Then he went Jalen Hurts and Devontae Adams. Then he went Caleb Johnson, Zay Flowers, Ricky Pearsall, Cam Scatteraboo, Cameron Dicker, Tyler Algier, Ramondre Stevenson, Denver's defense, Najee Harris, and Dak Prescott in the last round. So I will leave it to the floor for whoever wants to pick it up. What do we think about our friend Alex's team?
Well, I won't comment on the team. I want to comment on the entire draft first. There were 2 crimes committed in this draft.
Okay.
One, defenses and kickers were taken before the last 2 rounds.
Yep.
And second one, Garrett Wilson was a 5th-round pick. That's all I have to say. Steve, take the floor.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. What do you think about Alex's draft?
Overall, I definitely like his team. You can make an argument for a couple of the other running backs, I think, at the 2nd overall pick, but you can't go wrong with Bijan this year. Like A.J. Brown, like Trey McBride is a diesel for a tight end.
Yeah, right.
Like Jalen Hurts for the stack with A.J. Brown.
Huge.
I actually agree with the Jets fan over there, though, that Garrett Wilson went a little too low.
A little.
Yeah.
Listen, if we left it up to Wu, Garrett Wilson would go like in the second round. So
because he is, he will be.
He's going to.
See you in 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. So when I look at Alex's team, we've talked about it all year long with Alex. The big thing is, and take notes if you're someone who is in a 10-team PPR league, you want to get a difference maker in your onesie position early. So that was one of the things that we talked about. Initially, what he had talked about was potentially taking a quarterback, or maybe Josh Allen, because he had said, there was someone in the league who really liked Josh Allen, and maybe if he didn't take him early in the second round, he may fall to him in the end of the second, to which I had said to him, you probably want to pull the trigger on that. And then as the weeks went on, he had said, it probably wasn't going to happen. So then we talked about, going McBride or potentially Bowers. So I'm glad to see that he, made that move. That's awesome. The only thing I think like the guys to my left and right have been saying that I disagree with is taking Hurts over Wilson, and not even because Wilson should be valued a little bit higher, but the only thing is because the person who's drafting one had taken Chase, so he probably didn't want Hurts if Burrow was still on the board and he was going to stack Burrow with Chase. So knowing that pick was essentially going to be an auto pick, he could have taken Wilson there and still would have gotten Jalen Hurts in the next round when he got Devontae Adams. But overall, I like his team. I think when we had talked off air, Alex and I think the only thing he really needs to keep an eye on is his running back too.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Hopefully, Caleb. We love Caleb Johnson, and hopefully he pans out. But just on the off chance that he doesn't, Alex, you want to have an action plan for in the case of Caleb Johnson, not working out in the beginning of the year. So overall, really good team. Really, really like it. But let us know how you do, Alex, during the year. We'd love to hear an update on that. So moving on to around the NFL. A couple of quick pieces of news, and we're recording this on Friday, August 8th. So by the time you hear this episode, some of this may be outdated. It is what it is. But Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford's dealing with an aggravated disc. Rams are hopeful that he's going to be ready for week 1, but currently is not practicing in training camp. And this is bad news. If you're someone who, has Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams, this is kind of, I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous in this situation. I'm not going to lie, Will.
Yeah, definitely not great news, especially with one of my picks that I have, later for the show. I forget what I was watching on TV. Otherwise, I would credit them. I forget who it was, but they were talking about, Stafford and this injury, and now that he's got Devontae Adams there, is this going to cause issues? And I think they made a good point. It's like, if you're going to have anybody, not be able to, kind of build some rapport during an off season, like it might as well be Stafford and Devontae Adams, because it might take them 1 quarter to figure it out.
Sure.
Like I don't think it's going to affect those two that much, especially since they're older veterans. They've been around the league. They've been at the top of their position for a very long time now. The rest of the offense, they've worked with Stafford for a few years now. It really doesn't hurt my future outlook at the Rams for the year, especially like I said with one of my picks I'm going to have in a bit. But the last thing you want to see is Stafford dealing with back issues,
yeah.
Especially at his age and the sport that he plays.
Absolutely, Steve. If I'm a Puka Nacua manager, am I starting to sweat this out a little bit, or do we think we're going to be all right by the time season starts?
I'd be nervous.
Yeah,
I'd be nervous. Where I pick in our bonnet draft at the 2-3 turn, Devontae Adams is one of the groups in the big group of guys that I was kind of looking at and considering, and now this kind of knocks him down a notch or two if I don't hear good news about Stafford before our draft.
I was going to say, I was looking at some of the news on NFL.com too, and I saw something where they were going to work him out this Saturday for him to do a workout, because I think he had recently gotten like an epidural or something like that, to see if he feels anything, if he's going to be good to go. So hopefully those are they get some good news this upcoming weekend. But if not, like you gotta plan accordingly. You know what I mean? Because in the sense though, the backup is Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I mean? Like out of all the backups in the league, that's probably not a bad backup to have. Obviously the connection with him and Devontae Adams when they were in Las Vegas wasn't great, but who knows? Maybe the connection with him and Puka Nacua could be a good connection. We'll have to wait and see. Staying on the topic of the Rams, and I can't find it currently, but we do have a contract extension with Kyren Williams. There we go.
James Cook, take note.
Yeah, James Cook, please take note because listen, Kyren Williams signs a 3-year, $33 million extension with the Rams, so averages about $11 million a year, which is huge. I think this is great for both sides because the Rams lock up, their guy for the future, and Kyren Williams doesn't have to shop around, figure out where to go. Because if I'm going to be honest, if it wasn't the Rams, I was very scared where he was going to sign a deal.
Who, Kyren?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We always think that the grass is always greener on the other side, with other players, and it's like, oh, they're going to get this great deal and things are going to be great. Like prime example, look at Najee Harris. Najee Harris was a first-round running back who was essentially the feature back in Pittsburgh, and we're like, all right, wherever he goes, he's going to be great. And he goes to, the Chargers on a 1-year, $5 billion deal to essentially by the end of this year become a backup running back. You know what I mean? So it's not always what it's cracked out to be on the open market. So I'm glad that he was able to stay in Los Angeles. I don't have the numbers up right now, but I will get them up. But Kyren Williams was someone who was an absolute beast last year when it came down to running back opportunities.
The guy's a touchdown machine.
And he was a touchdown machine. I think we had talked about it, how he was essentially like one of those bets where you could take him for an anytime touchdowns at one point during the season last year, and it was just phenomenal. He had 356 total opportunities, and he only trailed Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. So, that's all great company to be in. Yeah,
opportunities are huge. Love any piece that's a part of the Rams offense. I mean, I think Kyren Williams, good move re-signing with this team.
And, just to kind of rope it back to the first piece of news we just talked about, if Stafford is out and it's Garoppolo, they may lean more on Kyren Williams for more touches as opposed to airing the ball out and giving Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams a bunch of targets.
Yeah.
So that's also some food for thought for, anyone who's considering that as well. Moving into our next one, quarterback Shedeur Sanders is going to start in the Cleveland's preseason opener tonight against the Panthers. We were just actually, we weren't down here, Steve, when we were talking about this, but Shedeur was rolling into the stadium, rocking his unreleased own music, playing on the speakers, and with his entourage walking in. Actually, here I got the video if you want to see it right here as he's strolling into. I think it's home in Cleveland.
I mean, it's quite the squad.
It is quite the squad. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't see, I would look up this video because you got a man to his right who's carrying a scythe. Yes,
I was wondering what that was.
It's a scythe.
Okay,
like an
interesting
actual
choice.
bladed scythe.
I don't think it's October. Is this Halloween? I
mean, so Steve, do we think the entourage coming in is gonna help Shedeur do well tonight in his preseason opener?
I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. He seems to be a showman, just like his dad.
I was going to say,
this is just normal for him, so I think it's just, I'm more interested in seeing what he can do on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, with I think Flacco's not playing tonight, but Sanders and Tyler Huntley are basically the only quarterbacks who are available. So he's going to get a lot of playing time. Kenny Pickett's out with a hamstring injury. Dylan Gabriel is also out with a hamstring injury.
That was shoulder.
Or it might be a shoulder. You might be right. So, listen, we're going to see a lot of Shedeur and a lot of Snoop Huntley, and hopefully this
must-see TV.
It's must-see TV. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Oh, it was a hamstring, my bad.
It was double hamstring?
Yeah, double hammy.
Okay. Running back J.K. Dobbins. Do you guys see this?
This is facade.
Listed as the started running back for the Broncos' first unofficial depth chart of the 2025 season. Dobbins is supported by Jaleel McLaughlin as the 2, Audric Estime as the 3, Tyler Bidet as the 4, Blake Watson as the 5, and down at the 6th running back on the depth chart. Is that R.J. Harvey, second-round rookie?
This is a smoke screen, but can we just flash back to post draft? And I'm like, what are the Broncos doing? So if I would like to take my victory lap if I'm right. We'll see.
Oh, please do take it. I mean, listen, this is I think Sean Payton is someone who is known for the theatrics on things. So I don't believe this at all. As this is the same Sean Payton who also said when they interviewed him after taking R.J. Harvey that outside of Ashton Genty, he was their second favorite running back on the board. So you wanted your second favorite running back on the board, and then you're going to put him as your 6th running back on your depth chart. All right, I see what you're doing here. So listen, if you're someone who's an R.J. Harvey manager in Dynasty, or you're thinking about drafting him, ignore this, please. I just thought it would be hilarious to put in for anyone to see. I'm just double checking news to see.
Oh, I know something that you interestingly left out of this news section, and for the purposes of this news piece,
it's for my own mental health.
Yeah, I'll say it for you.
Go ahead.
Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers, he is done for the year.
I want no questions, please. Please don't ask me any questions about this.
This is what happens when Mekhi Becton joins your team.
It is.
Your offensive linemen start dropping like flies.
It is.
I mean, I told you this. This is Mekhi Becton Jr. I mean, again, victory lap.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't say victory lap because I don't want the guy to get hurt. But
listen,
right.
it's tough in the streets out here if you're a Chargers fan. One of the huge strengths of the team was the offensive line and the fact that you had, bookend tackles with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. Luckily, you have someone like Joe Alt who can essentially just slide over to the left tackle position. But then obviously it leaves a hole on the right side. So we'll have to see how this kind of plays out. I'm definitely nervous as a Chargers fan. Put me on record right here, and obviously I have the right to change my opinion.
That's fair.
But put me on record that they're not winning the division anymore. You can count that out. It's the Kansas City Chiefs to win for the 10th year in a row or something. Subject to change.
But is this not like the second year that Rashawn Slater has missed significant time?
The second in 2 years, yes, because last year he played a full season. The year before that, he had a torn pectoral in week 2, so essentially missed the entire season. So, yeah, he's an amazing left tackle when he's healthy, but obviously injuries are a real thing in the NFL. And then this last piece of news before we get into the real meat of the show, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is day-to-day after leaving the preseason loss to the Ravens with a dislocated pinky.
Who would have saw that coming?
Yeah, right? Did you see this play, Woo?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Steve, did you see
up.
this play?
I did not.
If I could pull this up, hold on. So I will narrate it to the folks who are listening. So essentially, it was like one of the first plays of the preseason. Anthony Richardson drops back, and the right tackle leaves him the defender absolutely wide open, and he gets crunched. Look at this, absolutely wide open, and just gets smashed.
Yeah.
And then there's another still shot. If you look on
sideways.
Twitter, where you just see the finger on like a right angle, essentially. No. So listen, the deck was already stacked up against Anthony Richardson as it was, and now you're going to throw this injury in. However, this is huge for. I'm going to take my victory lap here for Tyler Warren, rookie tight end for the Indianapolis Colts, because I don't know if I said this on the show before, but if Anthony Richardson was the quarterback, I was very nervous for Tyler Warren. Now that it's Daniel Jones, I feel like Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren will have a better connection. Daniel Jones will be willing to dump the ball off to Tyler Warren. And again, Tyler Warren is a 9th-round pick right now for a tight end, and grabbing someone like him in the 9th round is potentially huge. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to have the same year as a Brock Bowers, but it's very close to that, because outside of Michael Pittman and Josh Downs, there's nobody else there to compete for targets. And really, if that's the case, I could see Warren by the end of the year being the number 1 target in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's definitely in the range of outcomes. As a passer, I'd probably rather have, if I'm drafting Tyler Warren, I'd rather have Daniel Jones be the quarterback. That's probably going to be a situation here. It's probably going to be that situation anyways.
Right.
This kind of just expedited the process, I guess.
Yeah. Steve, any thoughts? You think what's your take on Tyler Warren?
I agree. Definitely. That's a good late round pick in fantasy to take a shot on. I think
hands off. He's mine.
Definitely, so definitely better situation for him if Daniel Jones is starting. Daniel Jones, well, he supplied Odell Beckham Jr. way back when with a couple of good seasons. So
yes, he did. So for the folks in the Bonnet League, Tyler Warren is mine. Please do not take him. I'm just going to put that on record. Thank you. All right, let's get into the main topic of the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is, like I had said, this is the betting show. We brought Steve on purposely for this. Steve is someone who I have relied on heavy during the season for a nice little prop or an anytime touchdown. So I take what he says.
That's a stretch.
Very 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 well. So listen, if you have not set the scene, if you have not woken up at like 10:30 in the morning and gotten a text in our Bonnet League about what the play is during the NFL season, like
earlier than that.
Oh, it might be earlier actually.
It's
yeah,
like 7, 8 a.m. I get woken up to them.
But listen, I always wait for you to text and say what the plays are because I tail your picks. You know what I mean?
Last year I spent that time driving to Foxwood. So.
In college, I'd be waking up. I'm hungover. It's like, all right, what are we betting today? I'm like, I haven't even woken up yet.
Man, but Steve's got him going. So the way we're going to break this show up today, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to break them up into season-long bets, player props, and awards. So each of us have a couple. Some of us have too many, like myself, for season-long bets. And those are mainly about teams, whether they're season wins, winning the division, things like that. Next would be player props. That's statistic props that are given. Mostly are used by DK, and we use Rhode Island Sportsbook because we're here in Rhode Island. I think we have a couple of FanDuels here, but we're kind of a little all over the place. But when we give the pick, we'll tell you whether it's on DK, Rhode Island Sportsbook, or FanDuel. So if you want to tail any of these, you're more than welcome to and know where you're betting on this. And then lastly, awards. We're just picking some favorites for any of the awards at the end of the NFL season that we like and we see. So, we good, fellas? Did I miss anything?
Nah,
all
ready
right.
to roll.
So I'm going to kick it. We're going to go into season-long bets, and I'm just going to give Steve the floor. Steve, share some of your picks. Give the rationales as to why you have what you have on here.
It's still early, so I don't have a whole lot.
Listen, everything's fluid, like Wu says.
Fluid rankings, fluid bets.
Yeah, I mean, we got a few weeks. We got a lot of preseason to see how teams are kind of shaping up a little bit. But in terms for team bets, one that I found that I really like on DraftKings, Eagles to win the NFC East was at -130.
Yeah.
I feel like that is criminally low.
Does it not make you nervous that there hasn't been a repeat NFC East champion in like 20
Not
years?
at all. Look at the other teams in that division this year. Giants, love my Giants. They ain't doing anything.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Cowboys.
They'll
win some games. I don't think they're going to compete for the division title.
If Parsons doesn't play, you know what I mean,
then,
or that trade goes out, and you get that now, like that's good value.
What about the commies?
Exactly.
Commies don't make you
they're
nervous?
a little bit overhyped after last year.
That's
and
fair.
I was gonna say you don't think like
you're gonna hate my award pick.
oh my god, you don't think with the Commanders that it was kind of lightning in a bottle, last year, like everything kind of fell together twice because listen, they were playing a fourth place schedule last year. Now they have to play a second place schedule.
Yeah, but they went to the NFC Championship. I don't really care about what they did in the regular
who knows
season.
what's
Like they
going on
got
with
hot,
Terry
but then
McLaurin,
they went into Detroit and won the game, won the game to go to the NFC Championship.
You were absolutely correct on that, but also, I mean, Steve also brings up a good point. Terry McLaurin is yet to decide whether he's going to play or not.
I think they're going to give him the money.
I mean, you hope so.
But listen, I agree. I think the Eagles should be the favorite, obviously. But like when you see that much data that backs up, like there hasn't been a repeat NFC East champion in however long it's been. I think it's been like 15 years.
Yeah, I saw that stat. I'm not worried about it.
That's fair.
A couple other things. I don't think the Commanders, took a lot of teams by surprise last year. They're not going to be surprising anyone this year. Teams are going to be a little more ready for them after, they have a year's worth of footage of Jaden Daniels now too. And then one thing I noticed about the schedule, so Washington and Philly play each other week 16 in Philly and then week 18.
Wow.
Week 16 is in Washington. Week 18 is in Philly.
Wow.
Okay.
So if they're close in the standings competing for that first place position, I'm going to go with the team that just came off the Super Bowl that has proven they know
Why
how
not?
to win.
I like that.
They've made runs in, however many of the past seasons before.
Yeah,
So that's where my money is. I'm going Philadelphia to win the NFC East.
I like that.
Love that minus 130 price. That's on what I say. That's on DraftKings.
Yep.
Yeah, DraftKings. Yeah, and I'm just looking at the Commanders' schedule last year. Like they beat the Bears. You know what I mean? They played Arizona, the Cleveland. Like they're not going to play these teams this upcoming year because these were all teams who finished fourth.
And that Bears win was a Hail Mary.
That's right.
That kind of catapulted them through the back half of the season.
And so and I don't have their schedule up this year, but like their schedule, I was gonna say their schedule this year is second. I mean I know they play the AFC West, so that's a game against the Chiefs and the Broncos. Those are going to be tough games. The Chargers, which will also be equally as tough.
And they play the Chiefs, play the Lions, Denver.
They play the Vikings. Do they play the NFC North
Yeah,
too?
so they got Green Bay.
So they got the NFC North too. So that's the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. Like that's tough. That's tough. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I wish that they'd be just as good as they were last year to prove everybody wrong. But sometimes it's just you capitalize on the last place schedule and do they do well. But Steve, go ahead. Give us your second season long pick.
All right. So far this is the only other one I have. Found these numbers on DraftKings too. They were pretty similar for in terms of odds across the sports books that I check. But Seattle Seahawks under 8.5 wins. So under 8.5 was minus 140. That was, pretty similar or close to it. DraftKings, FanDuel, Hard Rock look at, and Rhode Island Sportsbook. DraftKings does have, they have the range of over-unders for different
the alternate
win totals
lines.
too. Mm-hmm. So I went through their schedule. I don't think they're going to be good. There's so much change there. Sam Darnold
stinks.
He doesn't have the Vikings coach. That's great with quarterbacks with him anymore. Yeah. They shipped out. DK Metcalf is gone. Tyler Lockett's gone. JSN is a true number one. Is he going to be still good as the true number one? Cooper Kupp is brought in, but is he still? How much is he still contributing?
I don't think anything.
So I think there's a lot of question marks there. 8.5 seems a little too high. And on DraftKings, I'm probably gonna put my money on under 7.5 was at plus 140, just to get a little bit of better odds there.
Do you think they win a division game this year? I don't know if they do.
I don't think so. I think that's a very competitive division. Those teams always seem to beat each other up. Doesn't matter where
it's
they
almost
are in
it's
the
almost similar
standings.
to like the AFC North where they all just cannibalize each other sometimes. I don't know. Like Arizona's going to be an interesting team because like does Kyler have it or does Marv have it in year 2? They invested heavily in the draft on defense. I think outside of one offensive tackle, every single pick in their draft was defense. So you expect them to improve. The 49ers have the easiest strength of schedule. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's an interesting thing.
I like those numbers. I like the alternate lines too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't think Seattle's
I went
a good
deeper
roster.
on that. When I went through their schedule, I was counting, between 5 and 7 wins, and I was like, wait, this is at 8.5. So you can go. I'm considering going lower for the juicier odds. Like under 6.5 is plus 225, and under 5.5 even is plus 425. So I might sprinkle a little bit on those.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go into mine. Listen, I have a bunch, so I might not even do all of these. I threw a bunch in here, and then the ones that I liked the most, I think I was going to take. The first one that I liked the most out of all of this, Indianapolis Colts. You can take them under 6.5 at plus 150, or you can take them under 5.5 wins at plus 250. And this was before the Anthony Richardson injury, so these lines may be even a little bit different. I just don't think Indy's a good team. I'm going to be flat out honest with you.
It's a bad it's a bad offense.
It's a bad offense and it's a bad defense. Like that defense is leaky. They were an 8-9 team, 8-win team last year. Sorry, Anthony Richardson, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he's their franchise quarterback. I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer either. Team wise, I like it. I like Daniel Jones for what it brings for Tyler Warren, but as a team, like it's kind of awful. And then you look at the schedule. The Colts cross over with the AFC West, so that means you play Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, who are also an improved team. I'm looking here. They're going to play the Texans twice, which I can't remember if they split or if they lost, but Texans are a better team than they are. The Jaguars are an improved team than they are. When I look at this board, I just find it hard for them to grab more than 7 wins. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know. You think I'm grasping at straws, fellas? Let me know.
No, not at all. Not even close.
I'm in agreement with you there.
Yeah, and they play the 49ers late in the season. I mean, I look at this, they could probably take a game off the Titans, maybe 2. Maybe they take the Falcons, that's 3, and they steal one from.
I don't think they're beating the Falcons.
Right, and they steal one from the Jags, they steal one from the Jags. So that's 4 that I legitimate ones that I see in my head, and then after that it's I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very tough. So I like that one a lot. I think I will be taking that one at under 5.5 at plus 250. The other one that I really like, and this one, it may be spicy, but I'm in on this team, and you'll see as we kind of go into some of the other bets. But Green Bay Packers to win the NFC North division.
I didn't realize we had the same pick.
Yeah, plus 250. Listen, I'm buying into the hype of Ben Johnson leaving the Detroit Lions and that offense not being as dynamic with him being the OC there. And I think the Packers are just always a well-run team. They're regular season heroes. It's fine, and they choke in the playoffs. That's okay. But I'm only here for them to win the NFC North, and to take them at plus 250 right now, I think is a great value for a division winner.
I was looking at their schedule, and they play the they play the NFC North.
Yep.
Play the Browns, Bengals. I think those are both wins. I think they can beat Dallas, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina. I don't think they beat Philly, but then it goes Giants, Chicago, Denver might be a toss-up. Chicago again. I mean, the back half of their schedule is definitely a little bit tougher. I would say the middle portion. So weeks 3 through 11, taking out week 10 against Philly. But they go Cleveland, Dallas, bye, Cincy, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Philly, Giants. I think that could be a really nice win streak in there.
The only thing that really scares me is the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about them because they play them week 18.
And they have a phenomenal defense too. You know what I mean? So it all kind of is contingent on is McCarthy, their guy, and does he play to the level of what Sam Darnold played last year? Because if that happens, then I could see Minnesota winning this division as well,
It's
because
definitely up for grabs.
they have the better defense compared to the Packers. I just think the Packers have the better. I'm taking it as they have the better quarterback in Jordan Love. So I mean, I don't know. And then do I have another one that I want to officially give?
I can see one. You should.
Yeah.
Add it on to the Packers if you're not as for some of the listeners, if you're not as confident in them winning the division. I actually like those odds for winning the division. I don't necessarily think they will, but those odds were pretty good.
As a cash out opportunity.
But Packers to make the playoffs on FanDuel minus 120.
Ooh. I like that.
A little bit higher on some of the other sports books, like minus 130, minus 135. But I like to make the playoffs minus 120. I'd be taking that.
That's good. I like that. I think you and I know which one we're gonna do. Will here, right?
Do it.
Patriots under 8.5 wins.
I have two.
Plus money. It's plus money.
So much haterade.
No, listen. let me give you the Patriots schedule, because listen, when I saw the moves with Vrabel being the head coach, them taking Henderson, I was on board. But everyone around was just all over the Patriots, and I was expecting their DraftKings win total when it first came out to be in the 5-6 range, and I was willing to hammer that. And when it came out to be 8, and then now it's as high as 8.5, No, thank you. No, thank you.
I have two side bets going on with this Patriots win total. Two friends. Kraz, I'm coming at you first.
Ooh.
If the Patriots have less than 10 wins this season, he buys my ticket and his ticket to the Jets Patriots Week 18. So they gotta have have 10 wins by the time that game starts. If Patriots have 10 wins, I gotta buy the tickets. The other one is same thing. Patriots gotta have 10 wins or more on the season, or if not, I get free 30 delicious ice cold beverages.
I think that's a win.
It could be a great season for me.
It could be.
It could be a great season.
So, I mean,
You got him up to 10?
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
even
the books
offer.
have 'em at
I didn't
8.5.
offer. See, that's the best part is that they didn't ask. They were like 10 wins. I said okay.
Good negotiating skills.
Thank you. Free bets.
So like just looking overall at this schedule, right? So, they open up the season with the Raiders, which the Raiders aren't I hate the Raiders, first of all, but they're an improved team. So, like, that's not a walk in the park kind of thing. Then you got Miami, and then you got Pittsburgh. Like, the first two games are kind of tough. You get a little bit of, like, alleviation with Carolina, but Carolina might be good with, Bryce Young may have taken a step forward, and, they got their hands full with Bryce Young and Tedero McMillan. Then you see the Bills in Buffalo, right? Then you get a free bye week when playing the Saints. It is what it is. 2 bye weeks, Saints and the Titans, 3 and the Browns. So that stretch right there is pretty nice. But then like after that, I feel like it's kind of a gauntlet, right? You go to the Falcons, and then you're at Tampa.
This is the biggest gauntlet.
You play the Jets, and then you're at Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Like there's a lot of, I don't know, It's tough for me to see 8 wins on this schedule here. Like I definitely see 4 to 5. I just 8.5 is a long stretch. So to take that at plus money at plus 100, like why not?
I get the hype because yes, they upgraded the roster, but did you see how bad that roster was? Like some of these upgrades it's just not gonna be enough. When the quality of the roster is as low as it was, like it's gonna take a lot more than one off season. It's just. Patriots fans, man, they're so spoiled.
Woo! I just want to point your
I
attention
saw the
to
kickoff
our group
return.
chat. So
Yep.
as we are recording right now, the Patriots are currently playing in their preseason game, and our chat is just lighting up because
Travion Henderson took the opening kickoff.
He took the opening kickoff to the house.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure
there it is.
Return.
So there it is. So everyone says the Patriots are back now. We'll have to sleep.
Sleeping heavy.
All right, I've talked long enough. Wu. Let me kick it to you. Give us your season long bets that you like.
Yeah. So first one I'll get out of the way real quick because we both had it, but I'm also in on the Packers to win the NFC North. Also in on their win total over 9.5 wins. That's at minus 120 on DraftKings. I think whether you go over 9.5 wins or you go with what Steve said to make the playoffs, probably both of those things are gonna have to happen. Like in order to make the playoffs, they're probably gonna have to win 10 games. So that's why the prices are pretty similar there. But I think I agree that I think the division's up in the air. I think we get a healthier Jordan Love this year. There was something going on last year. I think they just tried to keep him out on the field.
It was week 1. Remember that game in Brazil where was it the groin then or something like that?
Yeah.
There was something
he
got
one of the last minute of the game.
Yeah, it was like the very last minute of the game. Like he hurt his groin or something like that, and it was just never right ever since. And then he took a couple of weeks off, and Malik Willis played, and then he came back, and then I want to say there was a hamstring injury or something like that kind of derailed him. But
he just never seemed right throughout the rest of the year, and they were still a good team, so right. I expect a big jump there.
And I do want to point out, though, the year he was the starter and played all 17 games in 2023, he was the quarterback 5.
Yeah.
And he's had 4,100 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, and 11 picks. You know what I mean? So, like, it was a phenomenal season for him. So if he gets off to a good start, like, you may see something similar to that.
Yeah, so definitely in on the Packers. The next one I have is the Rams to win the NFC West.
I don't know about this
that's
one.
at plus 195 on DraftKings. We were just talking about how maybe the NFC West is one of those divisions that can kind of cannibalize each other. But at that point, somebody has to rise to the top.
Correct.
And I think my argument here is I really don't like the situation that San Francisco's in. They lost a lot of key players. Their wide receiver room is completely up in the air at the moment. They might not have a single person who can catch a ball besides George Kittle.
Although did you hear about so the 49ers had joint practices with I want to say it was the Ravens. And Ricky Pearsall was eating them alive, is what I heard. Those from the beat writers.
All right.
Eating them alive. Just saying.
But what I will say is, first off, the Rams defense is full of rookies on rookie contracts, and that defense is mean. I have another bet that plays off of that, for later on.
yeah.
And then I was taking a look at their schedule. They go Dallas, Chargers, Cleveland, Houston. I think there's a nice win streak in here. Sorry
those
with
are
the
preseason
Chargers.
games.
Against the Chargers?
Oh, those are the preseason games.
Sorry,
My
preseason
bad.
games.
So we're going to start with that win streak here in week 4. It goes Indy, San Fran. I think they got Tennessee and Houston to open up the year. That's a nice, welcome to the season part of the schedule for them. And then from week 7, they go Jacksonville, bye, New Orleans, San Fran, Seattle. And then Tampa Bay is a tough game, but then they play Carolina. I think they're a better team than them, as well as Arizona. And then to finish off the year, they go Seattle, Atlanta, and Arizona. So I think there's some nice stretches of some easier games for them, or just some games where I think they are the better roster. I'm all in on McVay. The Matthew Stafford injury definitely makes me a little nervous.
I was going to say
with
that's
this.
all subject to change if Matthew Stafford is not the starter week 1.
But if Matthew Stafford is back and everything is fine, I'm all in on the Rams to win the NFC West. I don't think San Fran is what they used to be. They lost way too many key pieces.
Yep. Why don't you give us this last one here, because this is hot.
Yeah,
hot.
This surprised
It's
me.
more
when I saw
so
this.
it's more so for the price and the cash out opportunity, because you have to keep in mind that those things are available as well. Yes, it's nice to hit your bet, when you get it correct, but there's been opportunities where I've had futures on teams that go deep on a playoff run and then you can cash out. So that's why I have the Broncos to win the Super Bowl at plus 2,800.
Yeah.
That's on DraftKings. I think they can win the AFC West 1. That defense was ridiculous last year. Then they go ahead and add on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen defenses carry teams to the Super Bowl. Can you think of the last team that did that?
It would be the Philadelphia Eagles. No?
No. I'm more so thinking to a more extreme where it was literally all the defense.
Oh, it was all the defense?
And it was the
going
Denver
back-
Broncos in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going back to my Giants.
No,
Taking down
not
the
that
Patriots
far.
Twice.
Not that far. All
that's
I'm
right.
saying
With
is
Noodle Arm Peyton
we've
Manning.
seen it here. Noodle Arm Peyton Manning.
That's right.
So I mean, we've seen teams being able to lean on a defense to make it to the Super Bowl and go on and win. I think Bo Nix will take a jump this year. I disliked how they did not add to this offense really at all this offseason. I mean, it's great that
Kind of criminal
it's
to
great
Bo Nix.
Exactly. It's great that they retained Courtland Sutton, but the fact that your biggest
They
addition
got
was
their 5th running back on the depth chart.
yeah,
RJ
exactly.
Harvey.
That's what I mean. And then one of your biggest additions is Evan Ingram, who I like for this team, but that can't be your splash play on offense. So that's why I have it more as a cash out opportunity rather
it's
than an
because
actual Super Bowl winner.
They got Michael Thomas Jr. there.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
No.
Pat Bryant.
Pat Bryant.
They asked Sean Payton. It says he reminds him of Michael Thomas. So
Thank God.
I'm just saying, thank God. We'll
So
say.
just take that with a grain of salt. But
I like
28-1.
But I like the pick of holding on to it and then cashing out later on, because I think Denver's going to be a really good team this year, and if they make the playoffs and then maybe win a game, maybe that's your chance
That
to
is
cash
a great
out.
point.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, where we are in Rhode Island, the Rhode Island Sportsbooks doesn't have a lot of cash out options, almost never. So that's something I definitely forget about a lot.
Exactly.
So that's a very good point.
I do it all the time with March Madness. It's great.
All right, Sportsbook, you got to do better. So give us the cash out option, please. All right, we're going to move into player prop bets. So these are season-long player props that we have picked out that we like. Steve, I'm going to give you the floor. I see a lot of Rhode Island Sportsbook picks here for your picks.
Yes, we were just saying Rhode Island Sportsbook do better. When I checked a lot of these numbers for the player props that I like, Rhode Island Sportsbook actually had the better numbers for what I wanted to bet compared to DraftKings, FanDuel, Hard Rock Bet, which was very surprising to me.
All right, we'll give you props.
So the first one, I found this one probably a little more than a month ago.
I remember when you shared this one with
Love
me.
it.
I love this one.
Jordan Love over 24.5 passing touchdowns,
Yep.
minus 130 on the Rhode Island Sportsbook. Those other sportsbooks that I just mentioned have his over/under set at 25.5, so a full touchdown more.
Little value.
It's even money. Most of those are minus 110, minus 115. If you want to go to the over 25.5, if you use one of those. And
I want to say, when we did the math, though, Steve, right? It's he has to just average a touchdown and a half.
About a touchdown and a half per game. With these player props for season long, I always look at averages. So if he stays healthy, plays 17 games, about a touchdown and a half per game.
He hits it all day long.
And we were just talking about him last year. He threw 25 touchdowns, so he went over that.
With something going on, too.
Yeah, he missed 2 games at the beginning of the season. He played, I think, part of one game halfway through the season, and I think he only played a couple of series in that last game.
Yep.
So they just got, they got all the weapons. I think he's got like a lot of number 2 type wide receivers. Right. There's not like a clear-cut one, so he can spread the ball around, get it to a lot of different guys. So
I like that pick a lot. Steve, before you get into your next pick, I have breaking news.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Shedeur Sanders threw his first NFL touchdown pass.
Who'd he throw it to?
Oh. I don't even know.
Guess I'm taking him at the 1-1 now.
It's all over now?
Yep, I've seen enough.
Oh, my God. Sorry, before you were rudely interrupted, Steve. Can you...
that was breaking news.
Yeah.
give us your next one after that.
All right. Next one after that. Another quarterback prop. Josh Allen over 475.5 rushing yards for the season. That's at -115. Also on the Rhode Island Sportsbook. The other sports books that I keep mentioning all had him at 500.5. So getting another 25 yards for about the same odds on that one.
Yep.
So this one, I think he's hit this over. Let's see. He hit over this number every season of his career except 2020.
Yep.
And then when I break it down, so this one of the tougher ones I look at when I try to figure out the averages. So like the Bills usually, like last couple of years, like they've kind of run away with that division. So even if he doesn't play week 17 or week 18 in their 17th game, takes it off. If he plays, all of the 16 games, stays healthy, he only needs to average 30 rush yards a game.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I look at that.
30's easy. If for Josh Allen, it feels like it's
Josh
easy.
Allen,
oh my God.
Yeah, that just seems.
He's basically a running
easy.
back for him.
Yeah.
Right. I like that one. Any other ones that you want to share with us that you like?
Yeah, I'll mention. This is going to be one I kind of keep my eye on now. Caleb Johnson, I had over 775.5 rushing yards. Also on Rhode Island Sportsbook. Also, the other sportsbooks had him more at like around 800 yards.
Wow.
That one, I want to kind of wait and see through the preseason how he plays, because pretty much as soon as I typed that in our Google Doc the other night, all of a sudden my Instagram feed was like, "Oh, Caleb Johnson's having trouble pass protecting," and
Zach's punching air right now.
Yeah, and Jaylen Warren is considered the 1A and has looked good in camp and all this, and I was like, all right, trying to tell me something here, all right.
Yep. Oh my God.
But this one I do like. Another Steeler, DK Metcalf over 6.5 receiving touchdowns.
This is a good one, actually.
Damn.
Yes, that -114 on FanDuel. Same number of touchdowns for the over/under was 6.5. The odds were a little bit juicier on Hard Rock and DraftKings at -130. But that's one I like a lot. Aaron Rodgers is there now. They're both new. I have heard that they've have had a pretty solid connection through camp, and Aaron Rodgers does have a history of supporting his number 1 wide receiver,
force feeding a number 1,
and giving them good stats.
Yeah, and then he brings Devontae Adams over.
Yeah,
he's not coming over this
Lazard.
Sorry, this is still a fresh wound here, Steve.
Aaron Rodgers is a touchy subject on the show.
Jail.
Steve.
Jail.
Oh, I know.
All right. Any other ones that you want to share, or you feel confident about the ones that you've given out to the people?
Yeah, we can move on. The other ones are kind of ones I'm kind of looking at
on the monitor.
So if I come back on
the horizon,
point, maybe we can talk about them more.
Oh, listen, I'll give you a little section of the show just to give out your best best bets.
Right.
Steve's bets of the week.
Yeah, Steve's bets of the week. I love that.
Expect me back then.
All right. So I'm going into mine. I have 2 that I'm really, really big on, and then I'll share a couple later. But first one that I love on this list is Kyron Williams over 1,000.5 rushing yards at +110. if someone can sit here at this table can tell me why Kyron Williams is at plus money to go over 1,000 yards rushing, please tell me.
Yeah,
but
no, it's insanity.
Like last year he had 1,299 rushing yards, and the year before that he had 1,144. The only time he didn't have over 1,000 yards rushing was his rookie season, and that was totally understandable because he was hurt and Cam Akers was there and everything like that. But when he has been the starter, he's well over 1,000 rushing yards, and he gets a crazy amount of opportunities. I talked about it when he had gotten his contract at the top of the show that, he had 356 opportunities. Even 2 years ago, he had 276. So I just don't know what Caesar knows that I don't know right now about this, because like I feel like that's free money, like absolute free money. So like that's one right there that if you want to bet, absolutely take it. This one is. Again, please tell me if I'm missing something, but Jahmyr Gibbs over 10.5 rushing touchdowns is a plus money again. That's plus 100. I just don't understand how that one doesn't hit either, because listen, I would be a little bit scared about this one if Ben Johnson was still the offensive coordinator in Detroit, but he's not, because when Ben Johnson was there, he worked in both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and made sure that it was kind of even, you know what I mean? And a lot of times when the Lions would start their opening drives, David Montgomery was exclusively the running back who was on the field and getting all the touches, basically until they got down to the goal line and, he scored a rushing touchdown. But now the reports out of training camp is that like Jahmyr Gibbs is like when the ones go out to like start a drive in offense, whether it's a 2-minute drill or anything, Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy who goes out on the field right now. So like, and last year he had 16 rushing touchdowns. That's like insane. What am I missing here outside of injury, which I guess that's the case for any player, you know what I mean? I just don't see if he plays even 16 games. I think he hits this with ease. And to get that at plus money, I love. And then the last one this one may sound crazy, but I think I love this one, is Joe Burrow over 33.5 passing touchdowns. I know it sounds crazy.
That number's so high. Oh my God.
It sounds so high, but like you have to think of the situation that Cincinnati's going to be in. The defense is going to be terrible. They're going to have to throw all day long. And when Joe Burrow plays a full season, he's never not had more than or less than 34 passing touchdowns. So
you gotta trust the data.
You know what I mean?
2 touchdowns a game if he plays all 17.
Exactly. And when you have someone like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins playing on the field, how do you not get 2 touchdowns a game?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like in 2021 when he played full 16 games, because that was a 17-game season, he had 34 touchdowns. 2022, the following year, he had 35. Obviously, he was hurt in 2023, and then this past season in 24, he had 43 touchdowns. So, like, you got to trust that one. You got to just trust the data on that one. But, those are my takes.
I like the Joe Burrow one, especially the point you made about the defense being bad. Like, they're going to be throwing the ball like crazy.
Oh my God, insanely crazy. So, what are your season-long bets?
Yeah, I got
player props.
I got 2 really good ones here that I like a lot. First one's a legacy bet.
Legacy.
Mike Evans over 950.5 receiving yards. If there was an alternative line for 1,000 yards, give me that. There is no way that he leaves this season without 1,000 yards to break the record, I believe, right? Because he tied Jerry Rice last year.
Yes, he tied last year.
Yeah, there is a 0% chance he leaves, unless he misses 10 games. There's a 0% chance. You can book me for that.
There's a chance.
There is a 0% chance that Mike Evans does not have 1,000 yards this season.
There's 2 words. It's Emeka Egbuka.
I'm fine with that. That is fine, because guess what? I guarantee Chris Godwin is not back before week 4. Emeka Egbuka and Mike Evans can absolutely coexist. We've seen this with Baker Mayfield. We saw it last year. Chris Godwin was leading he was the only person ahead of Chris Godwin in receiving yards last year through week 7 before he got hurt, was the one and only Jamar Chase. Mike Evans still finished with 1,000 yards. It's right there. It's right there. The record is right there. And you saw what they did last year. When he needed that one catch, and there was over the last stretch of games, he had missed a couple games. He was playing catch up, and they still got him there. I just think that is a legacy bet. It honestly has nothing to do with stats. I feel like it has to happen this year. So I am taking that if I can.
I was gonna say, and it's a free 50 yards too. If you're saying
exactly.
Like he takes 1,000, it's 950.5. Sorry, go ahead.
And then my last one. I mean, this is
Just
silly.
say it.
This
Just
is
do
silly.
it. Just do it.
Garrett Wilson over
is a homer
925
pick.
and a half receiving yards, minus 20 on DraftKings. Homer pick. Now let's talk some stats. So Garrett Wilson's 3 years in the league. He's had 1,103 receiving yards, 1,042 receiving yards, and 1,104 receiving yards. Now, let me list the quarterbacks that he has caught a pass from
I would love
in
to
his
hear this one. I
NFL
can't
career.
wait.
So we know Aaron
Great
Rodgers
list.
last year, Tyrod Taylor, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle,
This is a graveyard.
Mike White,
It was an absolute
Joe
graveyard.
Flacco, Chris Strevler, and Trevor Simeon.
Chris who?
Exactly.
I don't even remember
Exactly.
that guy.
This is the point I'm making. He has had nothing but nonsense under center throwing him the ball, and he continues to have 1,000 yards. He's had 1,100 yards more than he's had 1,000 yards. To put him at 925 and a half is criminal. He will smash this, and I guarantee he has 1,000 again.
Are you not afraid of Justin Fields being the quarterback
Nope.
of this?
Did you hear the list I just ran through?
I did, but it seems like all of those
A lot of
had
guys that
better.
don't run.
I was going to say a lot of guys who don't run. You
And a
know
lot
what
of
I
guys
mean?
who don't have NFL jobs anymore.
I would agree. I would agree. I'm just saying, like, we talk about Justin Fields' superpower being his legs, you know what I mean? And if he tends to run more often than to sit in the pocket and throw the ball, you know what I mean? Like that could be something that hurts Garrett Wilson. I like the pick. I just
think that line is crazy for what we've seen from him. I just think that's insanity.
I agree with you too, but I mean, you got to play devil's advocate on.
No, yeah, I get
whenever,
that.
You gotta
Whenever
see it.
you're betting and you're wagering your own money, you got to play devil's advocate. Like, all right, love this. All right, what could go wrong with it?
absolutely.
I'm seeing if he had 1,000
And
yards
why
in
is-
college.
and like you said before, why is it
I don't
that
think he
low?
did.
And what does Caesar know that I don't?
Oh no, his last year did he?
Yeah, in 2021, I'm pretty sure Fields is there.
Oh, all right. Wait,
Just saying.
was this last year,
Wait,
2021?
that's what I'm looking into right now. Let's see. If it's 2021, this is a hammer bet. Different year.
Different year, isn't it? Oh, logic is not sound.
That's all right. I'm sticking to my NFL stats. Screw college stats.
All right, we're moving into our last section of the betting show. Is our award bets. So again, these are awards for players to win awards that we like the most. Steve, I'm going to go to you. You're the guest of the show. You get to go
just wanna
first.
hear about your
Yo,
boy right
please
now.
talk him up. Talk him up. Listen, I
All right.
need some positives over here. We lost
Yeah.
the great today.
I still like this, even though he lost one of his offensive linemen. But Omarion Hampton, offensive rookie of the year.
Good one.
Book it.
The
Book
two
it.
guys that are favored ahead of him, Ashton Genty, Cam Ward, but I think like all the opportunity is going to be there for Omarion Hampton to produce and possibly win this award. So right now this is sitting at plus 850 on FanDuel. I like those odds are just great. I'm a little upset. Like just a few days ago, it was up to plus 1,000. So people are starting to catch on because that's
Well,
150
you want to know
point
why?
difference.
You want to know why, Steve? Is this picture of Najee Harris came out? Did you see this picture, Wu, of Najee Harris?
Yep.
Oh my
And
god.
His eye is closed. Look at his eye is closed.
That's
Yeah,
part
it's
of
bad.
it too. We don't, they haven't really said fully what is going on with Najee Harris, other than he's not really practicing.
Yeah.
At all, so
Listen, the more and more that Najee decides to put out on social media, the better these odds, or the worse these odds are going to be for Omarion Hampton. So take them now, please.
yeah. And the odds on these on the sports books definitely varied. On DraftKings, it was plus 750. Like I said, when I first saw it a couple weeks ago on FanDuel, plus 1,000. Hard Rock Bet, I believe is sitting at plus 900. So that's actually the best one now if you have access to Hard Rock Bet.
I like it.
I love it. I mean, and it makes sense too because, Harbaugh wants to run the football. You know what I mean? They brought in Najee for a reason. I know, he has the injury, but just even having Najee and they didn't take Omarion Hampton was a huge upgrade compared to Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. And then they go into the draft in their first round pick and they take this guy who I love. He was my favorite player out of all the prospects we talked about. And, he's like your prototypical 3-down NFL running back who's just going to be an absolute monster. And he goes to a team that has a willingness and a want to run the football. I just don't see how this doesn't work. I love it. So I'm going to give you my quick two picks. First one that I just want to throw out, this one, I just feel like he's criminally underrated right now, is Bijan Robinson for Offensive Player of the Year at plus 1,400.
Yeah.
That's great odds.
I mean, listen, I know Jamar Chase could absolutely do the same thing he did last year, and Saquon Barkley could repeat, the same things as well. But what if they can't? You know what I mean? What if
Bijan does everything?
I was gonna say they just don't have the energy to repeat what they did, last year. It's hard to do the same things 2 years in a row. We haven't seen Bijan like absolutely take control. You know what I mean? And so this could be, Bijan entering his prime and just being an absolute monster. So just leave the light on for him, Offensive Player of the Year at plus 1,400. Last one I'm going to throw your way. And so this is the logic that I've taken now when considering for MVP. MVP always has to be a quarterback. I think we all know that, right? Like if you're not a quarterback, you might as well just check out and not even put a bet on him. But the other thing that is also very interesting is it's pretty much almost every time if you go back and look at it, their team has to finish either first or second in the conference, not just win the division, but be in that top two for the conference in order to be considered for the MVP. And so I'm big on, obviously I gave you the pick earlier for the Packers to win the NFC North, but I think the Packers could be a top two team in this conference this year outside of Philly, obviously yes, but I think if they're the best team, if they finish as the NFC North winners, I don't see how they don't finish top two in the conference. On top of, I don't see San Fran being as good as they are, and the NFC South is just the NFC South. There's no way anyone will ever be sniffing close to the top. So if Green Bay is going to be as good as I think they are as being a top two team in there, Jordan Love has to have a phenomenal season, and to take him at plus 2,400 for the MVP, even just to sprinkle like a $10 bet on that, like
the price is awesome.
I love the odds on that.
A lot of love to the Packers.
It is
today.
Well, I think we all.
I think it was unintentional though. Like it's just at least for me, like the division winner odds I liked a lot. And then, just piggybacking off their wins, if I think they're going to win the division, then they have to get 9.5 wins. That was kind of my thought process there.
Right. I mean, and we look at the schedule, right? So they open up with the Lions, Commanders. Those are two tough games. But then it gets easy with the Browns, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Cardinals. I think they can win the Steelers, Panthers. So that's what, in the first 8 weeks?
Yeah.
They're potentially 6-2, maybe even better. And then they go Philly, the Giants, the Vikings, the Lions, the Bears, the Broncos. Like, it gets a little bit tougher in the back half of the year. But if they can rack up the wins early, I don't see how they and win these games against division opponents like Detroit and Minnesota. Like, I don't see how they don't they're a top of the conference. So those are my two picks. Woo, I'm going to kick it to you to round us out with your awards picks.
Yep. So first one's going to be Jaden Daniels MVP plus 750 on DraftKings. A little bit different thought process than you. I am buying into the media is obsessed with Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
And if he even does just a little bit better than he did last year, his name will absolutely be in MVP conversations because we know how this voting system works. There is voter fatigue. We see this across other sports. And at plus 750, I think that's pretty good.
You're not afraid of the sophomore slump?
I mean, of course I am.
Stroud had?
Of course I am. But from what I saw from him last year, like the sky is the limit with this guy. I mean, if there's anybody to compare to Lamar, and I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is Lamar Jackson, but if anybody,
he's my keeper. Sure, he is.
If anybody,
I totally forgot.
If anybody can replicate what Lamar Jackson has been doing, and Lamar now has what, 2 MVPs?
Yes, now he has 2.
Exactly. So I mean, if anybody can do it, Jaden Daniels is the
blueprint should have 3,
for it.
But neither here nor there.
This might be one of my favorite picks. Jared Verse to win Defensive Player of the Year at plus 1,500 on DraftKings.
Absolutely. I love Jared Verse, like the person.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, have you seen the interview where they interviewed Jared Verse about doing a workout with Aaron Donald?
No.
So I'm trying to remember kind of how it was. So basically a reporter brought up it's like, oh, did you worked out with Aaron Donald? How did that go? And he was like, it was the worst thing of my life. Like
did he say you want to call 911?
Yes, he told Aaron Donald's wife to call 911. And he was serious, and she laughed at him because the workout was so intense.
It's just
normal
this is,
Aaron Donald. Yeah, and this is just normal Aaron Donald, workout. But I think Jared Verse is an absolute monster.
Oh my God, he's ridiculous.
Absolute monster. So I love this.
Yeah, again, I'm odds hunting here, but I do like Jared Verse as the player. I mean, he had an incredible rookie season last year, and then to see a 15-1 odd next to him, I'm in on that. that.
Why not?
And then I have a special bet here because unintentionally, my friend Rory sent me a bet that he was looking at today, not realizing that we were also doing this episode tonight. So I figured I'd throw it in. He sent this to me, so it's going to be a parlay on FanDuel. It is Vrabel to win Coach of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson to win Comeback Player of the Year, and Abdul Carter to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Those odds are at plus 93.35. So if you put $10 on it, you win $933. I think when he sent it to me, I was like, because obviously, like, you make all these big future bets, and if you parlay them, it's like, yeah, it's like a lottery ticket.
Right.
But when I'm looking at this, like, when I bet something, I need to be able to envision what I'm betting can actually happen. And I can see all three of these things happening. The reports I'm seeing from Aiden Hutchinson out of camp, it's like he is a man amongst boys.
Oh, yeah.
And he's coming off
I've
an
heard
injury.
That one's a foregone conclusion.
And, like, Comeback Player of the Year is, like, kind of one of the easier awards to win, in my opinion.
The only tough competition he has is Dak.
Yeah.
If Dak plays a full season and is as good as we've talked about him potentially being, I could see him being Comeback Player of the Year.
What about CMC too?
Yeah, I guess.
But I think the thing with CMC is he played like
No, I would say he's probably
You
in
think
that
so?
conversation. Yeah.
I gotta check now
played
to
a
see if he's even being put up for
small
odds.
handful of games.
Yeah.
I saw his name on there at some point.
Oh, he was on there.
Yeah.
I had it up. I forget.
Yeah,
what
he's
it
plus
was.
370.
Okay.
So Dak and Hutchinson are tied for the best odds right now at plus 275.
Yeah.
And then CMC. But sorry, back to your special, Will. I think I love the Hutchinson Comeback Player of the Year. I love Abdul Carter as Defensive
And
Rookie of the Year.
I think his
that
life
one's
is going to be
like-
so much easier because of how good
Oh
the
my God,
Giants'
that
defensive line
line's gonna
is.
be insane.
Like, he might be, offensive line's like least problem on that defensive line.
Yeah.
Like, he might be the guy that gets the easy matchups because of Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau, and there's another name I'm forgetting, but that line is disgusting.
The only one that is like a tough one is Vrabel being Coach of the Year.
I don't like it because of what it would
Let
entail.
me ask a question. Is Rory a Patriots fan?
He is.
There it is.
And
there
like,
it is.
I don't like it because of what it would entail. But, like, again, another situation where, like, at the end of this year, if I told you Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year, how shocked would you be?
Not that shocked, but I guess my question is what do the New England Patriots have to do in order for him to be?
They probably have to win 10 games.
They'd have to
hit that over that you guys
Yeah.
are betting against.
Yeah, right.
Steve, this is how you hedge.
Oh, this is the hedge. They have to make the playoffs, and if them
Nah.
Really, I think playoffs
I
might
think
be a
so.
little. I think they have to be this. No, this is the vision. Late December, you're sitting on your couch 4:00 watching the 4:00 games, and they put up the in the hunt graphic. As long as the Patriots are up there late in the year, I think that gets it done. I think it gets it done.
And let me throw this out to you because, and again, could be like homer bias, whatever. But the Chargers were a 5-12 team 2 years ago, and then Harbaugh comes and they win 11 games and make the playoffs. And Harbaugh, I don't even know where he finished, but he was not Coach of the Year.
Who even won it last year? Was
Yeah,
it
it was
Dan Campbell?
It was, if it wasn't Dan Campbell, then it had to have been. Oh my God, who's the head coach in Washington?
Yeah, I was just.
Oh,
Gonna say,
Dan Quinn.
Wasn't it Washington's?
I don't think it was Dan Quinn.
I don't think it was Dan Quinn
No.
either. Actually, now we gotta look.
Kevin O'Connell.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won 15 games.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and there's also like that aspect too. Is like, there could be a team that has just been middle of the pack, and then they finally win like 13, 14 games, and they kind of steal the thunder from Vrabel.
Yeah.
I love the bunch together though at plus 9.
Yeah, I had to throw it in there.
93.35.
It just worked
like,
too well for today.
why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Just like you said, sprinkle 10 and you may win 933.
Sprinkle 5 even. 400 something.
Yeah, right.
Right. Like that's not bad. Steve, any other parting bets that you have that you didn't share that you may want the people to know, or have you exhausted all of the bullets in the clip, as people say?
No, I'll mention this one more that I decided not to before, but we just started talking about Christian McCaffrey. So as of right now, his over under for touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, is 7.5.
Criminal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Remember when he was
If
like
this
minus
guy
200
stays
for anytime
healthy for
touchdowns?
half of the season, he's probably hitting that over easy.
And
that over 7.5 rushing touchdowns was minus 108 on FanDuel.
It's crazy.
I like it.
So
It's low.
That might be one if you're confident enough, which probably no one is actually, but if you think he's going to stay healthy enough to play 8 to 10 games of the season, he's almost definitely going to hit that. you probably want to bet that now because if he plays some preseason games and looks good and doesn't get hurt,
that's going to 10
that
Well,
number is going up to 9.5, 10.5.
The other thing I will point out to everyone right now, we didn't talk about this as news, but Isaac Guerrero, who is supposed to be the backup to Christian McCaffrey, is hurt and is going to miss multiple weeks. I think what they had said is week 1 is potentially in question, and then their third-round rookie. I don't know if he was a third-round rookie, but I know he's the third string. Jordan James, running back out of Oregon, is dealing with an injury as well. So already the backups behind McCaffrey are hurt, and so if McCaffrey goes into the season with those guys, potentially hurt, and it's just him getting all of the work, that isn't crazy to get over 7.5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, it's an interesting number.
Just saying. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are our picks. Official picks, subject to changes. We always like to say here on
like
the
I said,
show.
if any of them lose, that's Steve's fault. He's our betting
I was
expert.
going to say, if you have anyone to
Don't
blame,
come at me in the comments when
Please
all
blame
these
Steve.
don't hit at the end of the season.
But no, Steve, we appreciate you coming on the show. We
appreciate you guys.
Long overdue.
It was long overdue, absolutely. Like you said, when we do potentially have another future episode doing a mock draft, we may have you on the show back again, and maybe you have some
I'll
more.
I'll try to make it back a few more times.
Some more futures for us to give to the folks and things like that. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you still tuning in. We are officially hit over the hour mark, so if you're still listening, thank you. We love you. Please make sure you're following us on all of our socials: Twitter at 4th and Fantasy Pod, Instagram and TikTok at 4th and Fantasy, YouTube at 4th and Fantasy. If you like what you hear, you like what you're seeing, please give us a like, follow, subscribe, a 5-star rating, all those good things. And we're going to keep giving you content all summer long and even through the regular season. I forgot to tell the people, this is podcast 1 of podcast 2 in a week. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to do 2 a week now. So if you like that, please, leave us a comment or a message about that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the other side.
See ya.
Later.